I'm about to show you 7 things sitting in your kitchen that would legally count as a weapon if you extracted them properly. The seed inside this apple you just ate, it's making cyanide right now, inside the apple, on purpose. Now, don't panic, you're not dying today, but that seed is the tip of a very weird, very underrated iceberg. Nuts and seeds that evolved to actively fight back against being eaten. Poison is a survival strategy, and some plants took that strategy very seriously. Today, we're ranking and explaining every major poisonous nut and seed, from eat too many and get a stomachache, all the way to this one seed has killed more people than almost any plant on Earth. Stick around, because the last one on this list is genuinely terrifying.
Quick context, because this actually explains everything that follows. A seed's entire job is to survive long enough to become a new plant. That's it. That's the whole assignment. So if you're a plant and something keeps eating your seeds before they can sprout, evolution has one blunt solution. Make the seed unpleasant or outright dangerous to eat. Some plants went the mild route. Bitter compounds, a little digestive upset, enough to teach a lesson. Other plants said, no, we're doing cyanide. We're covering both ends today. Worst to, well, worse. Bitter almonds, the almond's evil twin. Every almond you've ever eaten is a sweet almond, a genetic variant that had its natural cyanide-producing compound bred out over thousands of years. But the original wild almond? Bitter almond. And bitter almonds are loaded with amygdalin, a compound that breaks down into actual hydrogen cyanide when you chew and digest it. Here's the number that should stick with you. It takes somewhere around 7 to 10 raw bitter almonds to potentially kill a small child. That's it. That's why bitter almonds are banned from retail sale as a snack in the US. You'll only find them heavily processed into almond extract, where the cyanide compound is removed during production. So next time someone says almonds are basically medicine, just remember, their evil twin is basically a weapon. The Stone Fruit Pit Club. Cherries, apricots, peaches, plums. Here's where it gets personally relevant, because this next group isn't some rare specialty item. It's sitting in your fruit bowl. Cherries, apricots, peaches, plums, the pits, and specifically the little kernel inside the pit, all contain amygdalin, same cyanide precursor as bitter almonds, because, fun fact, almonds, cherries, apricots, and peaches are all in the same plant family. They're cousins, poisonous cousins.
You're not going to get hurt spitting out a cherry pit. The danger shows up when people crack open the pit, eat the kernel inside, or, and this actually happens, juice a bunch of apricot kernels because some wellness blog told them it cures cancer. It does not cure cancer. It gives you cyanide poisoning. There have been real documented hospitalizations from people eating apricot kernels as a health supplement, which might be the most tragically ironic sentence in this entire script. Castor beans, the one that made ricin famous. Now, we're leaving don't juice your apricots territory and entering genuinely serious territory. Castor beans, the seed the entire castor oil industry is built on, contain ricin. And ricin isn't just toxic, it's one of the most lethal natural substances known to science.
Here's the wild part. Castor oil itself is perfectly safe because the ricin gets destroyed during the specific heat processing used to extract the oil. But the raw seed, a single castor bean, chewed and swallowed by an adult, can be lethal. Not a handful, one. This is why ricin has shown up in actual real-world poisoning and terrorism cases. It's that potent, and the plant is genuinely easy to grow, which is a deeply uncomfortable combination. The rosary pea, the most dangerous seed you've never heard of.
Okay, this is the one I promised you. The rosary pea, also called jacurity bean, might be the single most dangerous seed on the planet. And it looks like something you'd buy at a craft fair. Bright red with a jet black tip, genuinely beautiful. Historically used in jewelry and prayer beads across parts of Asia and the Caribbean. Inside it, a toxin called abrin. Structurally similar to ricin, but even more potent. Some researchers estimate abrin is up to 75 times more toxic. The seed's hard outer coat means an intact swallowed rosary pea usually just passes through you harmlessly. The danger is if that coat is broken, chewed, crushed, or pierced for jewelry, because then the toxin gets released. There are documented deaths from people pricking their fingers while stringing these into beads. A craft project. That's the horror movie we're living in. Raw cashews? The myth that won't die. Quick myth bust, because I guarantee someone in your life has said you should never eat raw cashews. Technically true, misleadingly explained. Cashews grow inside a shell that contains urushiol. Yes, the exact same compound in poison ivy, which means truly raw, unshelled cashews are genuinely dangerous to handle and eat. But here's the thing. The raw cashews you buy at the store were never actually raw. They've already been steamed or roasted to destroy the urushiol before the shell is even removed.
So the bag labeled raw in your pantry is really just not roasted a second time for flavor. Nutmeg is a seed. Most people never clock that. It's the seed of the nutmeg tree, and you've been grinding it onto lattes your whole life. In cooking level doses, totally fine. But nutmeg contains a compound called myristicin, and in large doses, we're talking multiple whole nutmegs, not a pinch. It acts as a deliriant. It can cause hallucinations, rapid heartbeat, nausea, and in rare cases, has contributed to deaths. This isn't hypothetical internet lore either. Nutmeg tripping has a documented history, including prison inmates using it as a substitute drug precisely because it's legal and available in the kitchen, which is a genuinely strange sentence to say about a holiday spice.
Let's speed run the rest, because we're running out of time and there are more of these than you'd think. Ginkgo seeds. The fruit smells like garbage, but the seed inside is toxic raw and can cause seizures in large amounts. It has to be roasted first. Horse chestnuts. Not the same as the sweet chestnuts you roast at Christmas. Don't mix them up. These contain asculin and will make you sick. Elderberry seeds. The syrup is fine and popular for immune support, but the raw seeds and stems contain cyanide-producing compounds, so raw elderberries are a hard no. So here's the actual takeaway, because I don't want you throwing out your fruit bowl. Almost everything on this list is dangerous specifically in its raw, concentrated, unprocessed form. The seed, the pit, the kernel, not the fruit or the food you already eat every day. Humanity spent thousands of years figuring out exactly how to cook, roast, or breed the danger out of these plants, which honestly might be the real story here. Not that nature is trying to kill us, but that we've spent our entire history quietly, cleverly outsmarting it. If this blew your mind even a little, hit subscribe, because next week we're doing the opposite list, the most dangerous fruits hiding in plain sight. See you then.